This is TempleOS. We're going to take a quick tour. Control M gets to the menu. These are icons. Here's a multi-core flight simulator. You're supposed to dive for fish. It's not much fun. Here's an asteroid ripoff. Instead of making ripoffs, I just made concept games. You're supposed to guide this ship. They're not playable. It's because I'm not going to do a ripoff. Here's a. This is like the British, the American Revolution. If you ever wonder why they walked in lines, this will answer that. This is a time traveler. It's kind of like the game Defender. You're supposed to defend the cyan-colored ones. Anyway, they have swords. You have guns. Anyway. Cyan is always the good guys, purple is always the bad guys. This operating system is for recreational programming, so you're supposed to enjoy programming. So I did a ton of examples to help you. These are there's like 100 examples: beginner, intermediate, advanced. Non-game. So you can run a game from the menu, or let's do a few more. This is a you have a gun that has a variable size plasma ball, and it's timed with a chemical reaction to give a delay, a fuse, and your ship flexes and can get damaged, and then you have to do a spacewalk. And anyway, it's called Excalibur because your gun is, oh, there, see, now I have to do a spacewalk because it got tweaked, so I have to go out on that strut. Anyway, okay, this is a, you build a bridge you try and build a cheap bridge out of concrete, steel, and wire, or guy wires, whatever you call them. Anyway, SimStructure is a application I made for Windows that's a lot more complicated. You can download it from my site, SimStructure. Anyway, this is like the old artillery, but it's to demonstrate the scroll bars. Anyway, you can also scroll with control left drag. Will scroll. That'll scroll anything. It's built into the graphics API. Anyway, this is Joust. You're supposed to glide. It was supposed to be so that you didn't go too fast. You're supposed to glide. Anyway, here's a tank. The Perfect General is a lot better. So this is kind of, you'd plot your artillery first, and left shift or shift hold shows line of sight. So now it's his turn. No, now it's our turn. Now we drive our tanks. Facing of the tank matters. The armor is stronger in the front, and the enemy's going. This game's not very good, but it's, anyway, you can make artificial intelligence This shows you can get display of the battle statistics or the odds calculations. Anyway, this is a pilgrim. You go with the wind and you go faster. It has a. I'm doing this without a GPU. It's actually kind of hard. I had to break it up into rectangles and feed them to different cores. It's just a concept game. I didn't actually do it. That's it. Game over. Anyway, here's a first-person shooter. God said they were dancing. They do dance. Check them out. They dance. Anyway, we can talk to God. This is a Moses game. It's just a concept game, really. So now we're on the mountain, and we go to the burning bush, and God picked this random passage. Anyway, if you talk to him first, he'll talk to you, honestly. Anyway, it's tongues. Moses, when he had his hands in the air, the battle went well. When his hands fell, they lost. Anyway, in holds court, man commits blasphemy, or child commits blasphemy. Anyway, really punished. There's comics. I do offerings to God. We saw a treasure ship at the bottom of the Red Sea. Can you part it again? The Egyptians saw it too. Anyway, and then if you do an offering like Cain and Abel, if your offering's good, then God will talk to you. Anyway, here's good King Wenceslas. If you listen to the song, they walked in his footsteps. The peasants were cold. You can make a Yule log, and you guide the peasants in your footsteps, and you guide them into the house or to the Yule logs. It's timed. It's not very fun, but it's hard making fun games when you're being original. This is keep away. You get points for handing off the ball to your cyan is friendly, purple's bad guys or opponent. Anyway, you don't want to foul them. You can jump and shoot and pass it. Anyway, here's the, we missed the music organ. It's really good for making hymns. Let's do a random song. It's a muse. Music comes from muse, which God gives you songs if you want. So we're going to play this song. And you can put words on it. If you put words on it, then you can, it becomes a, they're programs, and the songs are a real simple notation. Unfortunately, sound doesn't work in VMware. They disabled the speaker. Rawhide. You round up the cattle, and when you get them to an area with the size of a screen, then it's over. You do Control left drag. Anyway, here's chess. This is really a bad opponent. I just made it's pretty pointless. Anyway, this is a fun game. You launch aircraft to and you have destroyers and anyway, Navy game. You're judged on how many keystrokes it takes you to get all the tanks. That's how you're scored. Anyway, it stores high scores in the registry, your account registry file. Control D is the file manager. You can use it to browse the demos. Let's go to some more of the game starters. So for example, there's a graphics and source code. There's a 3D editor, but it's a real pain to use. We can do Control R. Let's go to the command line and do Control R, and we're going to do a sprite. There, do the tag, color, blue, width. These are they're vector graphic we'll do a flood fill. It's got dithering flood fill. Anyway, so these vectors over here, you can edit. You can cut and paste them. You can't edit the text, but you can shift them around. They're vectors. Anyway, you can convert them to a bitmap, and anyway, so you can put them on the clipboard. In Linux, everything's a file. In Sparrow, everything's a document. You can put graphics in source code. Where is the what happened? Should be below. There it is. Okay. Anyway, you can do flow charting. It has widgets for flow charting and drawing data structures. This is a hash table. The assembly is a really good syntax. It's a lot better than GCC assembly. Anyway, let's see what else we have. Here's a funny F5 will run if you're in the editor, let's do rocket science. Anyway, so the games are to get you going. This is Battle Zone. Anyway, this is Missile Command. Anyway, let's see.